Secretary, a position he had long aspired to hold. His resignation comes just hours after Ekurhuleni Mayor Dr. Kagaza announced new appointments to the mayoral committee, leaving the 10-member structure with another vacancy. In his resignation letter, Mabotja explained that stepping down was in the best interest of the ANC. Today marks his final day serving as both MMC and the ANC's regional secretary. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News.
Still on the political front, DA mayoral candidate in Johannesburg, Helen Zille, has welcomed Mandla Nyaqela to the Blue Party. Zille also announced that more than 50 other individuals believed to be members of Action SA have joined her party. The DA says Nyaqela and the group resigned from Action SA due to dissatisfaction with the leadership of Herman Mashaba. Zille further claims that several more Action SA members are expected to defect to the DA.
And they know, having tried the alternatives, that there's only one party that can lead Joburg to success for everyone and a better life for everyone, and that party is the Blue Party.
The attorney representing alleged criminal kingpin Vusmusi Kat Matlala has suggested the state is delaying the matter from going to trial. Matlala, his wife Tsakane and their 3 co-accused appeared in the Johannesburg High Court on attempted murder charges this morning. They are accused of planning and executing 3 botched hits, including one on Matlala's socialite ex-girlfriend Relebogile Mabotja. The matter was meant to proceed with a pre-trial conference but was postponed to next month to allow the state to furnish the defense with certain documentation. Matlala's advocate Annelien van der Heerwe claims the state is delaying the matter by not providing certain particulars they've requested.
Omissions on the state's part or deliberately withheld, I respectfully submit. There's videos that we've not been provided, etc. So these are not documents I respectfully submit the state can deny disclosing to the defense.
The Gauteng Department of Agriculture is ramping up efforts to contain the foot and mouth disease outbreak. 70,000 vaccine doses have been allocated to the province from a national procurement of 1 million. Speaking to the media this morning, MEC Vuyiswa Ramokgopa says the department has secured the doses as part of an intensified national response. Gauteng now has 208 confirmed cases of foot and mouth disease. Dimakatsolo Shoro has more.
The department says its vaccination teams deployed simultaneously across key veterinary zones, including Randfontein, Germiston and Tshwane, will now work at full capacity. MEC Vuyiswa Ramokgopa explained the province is taking a targeted, risk-based and data-driven rollout strategy.
Prioritizing infected farms that are located near buffalo populations, as well as newly diagnosed outbreaks with active transmission. Our focus is also on communal grazing areas and dairy farms which are located in close proximity to confirmed cases.
Ramokgopa described the escalation as a decisive step in controlling the outbreak. She added that containment measures are now fully in place, with law enforcement agencies mobilized and ongoing engagement with farmers and other stakeholders to help prevent further spread of the disease. Dimakatsele Shoro, Eyewitness News at the Gauteng Legislature.
And in Nigeria, more than 25 people have been killed in 2 separate Boko Haram jihadist attacks in the northeast of the country. According to reports, the attackers also looted a market and stole food items and motorcycles. Boko Haram's insurgency in Nigeria began in 2009 and has left more than 40,000 dead and 2 million people displaced. The conflict has spread to neighboring Niger, Chad and Cameroon, prompting the formation of a regional military coalition to fight these groups. Gold's trading at $5,174.85 an ounce. The rand's at 15.89 to the dollar, at 21.51 to the pound, at 18.75 to the euro. Brent crude oil's at $69.90 a barrel.
Centurion expect about a 30-minute delay on the N14 northbound from the N1 Brakfontein interchange all the way to Jean Avenue. This is all due to ongoing roadworks. And in Melrose, heading towards the Joburg CBD, expect some delays. M1 southbound from Collet to Killarney Bends.
And look at your weather. Partly cloudy skies in Gauteng this afternoon with isolated showers expected. Temperatures have peaked at highs between 27 and 28 degrees. The top story in Eyewitness News this hour. The city of Ekurhuleni has been plunged into further political instability following the resignation of Jongizizwe Tlhabati as the finance MMC.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
You're with Relebogile Mabotja
Live, streaming countrywide
on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM.
Seven minutes after 1 o'clock. Welcome to 7:02 Afternoons with me, Relebogile Mabotja. It feels very weird because it's like I was just here with all of you. And thank you again, Team Clement Manyatela Show, for having me. But it's back to business, right? And how we do. Coming up on the show, I want to find out from all of you, what is that moment, right, that made you realize, I'm not a guest here. I actually am a family member. This is home. Or the moment where you've seen your visitors and guests and you're like, okay, clearly this person feels at home. And sometimes it can be offensive. Sometimes it's actually heartwarming when you realize somebody is that comfortable in your space. Then in our Belief Matters feature, we're going to be talking about something very interesting. I'm looking forward to this. Ramadan, Lent, and Lunar New Year. They coincide for the first time since 1863. That is a very long time. So we're going to have a conversation around what spiritual or symbolic meaning this holds across all of these faiths. Jaco Beyers, who's the head of Department of Religion Studies at the Faculty of Theology and Religion at the University of Pretoria, will join us for that conversation. And then we wrap up, as we do, with Wendy Nola in our consumer rights feature, Nola Knows. We'll talk about South Africa's debt review industry and it facing turmoil. I know this is a topic that gets all of us riled up because so many people have had terrible experiences. So make sure you tune in. Get in touch with us, 011 883 0702, SMS us 31702, tweet at Relebogile M at Radio 702 using the hashtag 702 Afternoons and the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702.
702 Afternoons
with Relebogile Mabotja
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
We speak about visitors quite often, but there is a difference between people who are guests in your home, right? And the people who feel at home in your home. And maybe that's where we can start, is what for you is the measure that somebody is feeling at home, that they're comfortable? And at what point is it that the hosts are treating you like you're also somebody from home? You know, you're no longer taking out the nice plates. You're comfortable to give your friend that cracked bowl. Or is it the moment your friend's mom tells you to wash dishes? Is that when you are now home? What is the measure? Or is the measure if I can have you sleeping over in my house, or I feel comfortable to sleep over in your house, then that is the measure for me that I am no longer just a guest. I'm no longer just a visitor. I am actually at home. I think a very big measure that somebody is no longer just a guest, that somebody is no longer just a visitor. They are at home, is if they can go and open your fridge, like without you being there. If you're at that level where you can open the fridge. But I had to think about it because I have siblings who, for example, ask me, they don't just go into my fridge. Well, it depends. Actually, I'm lying. Let me not lie. They will ask me if it's like, they'll say, is there something sweet in the house? And I'll say, go look in the pantry. But if it's like milk, they'll just open the fridge and get milk. But what is the measure? And there are people who will think or feel that you're being overly familiar by doing things that are considered, but you don't live here, if you get what I mean. Like some things maybe are just for, hey, you have to live here for X, Y, and Z. So how do you measure? And are you the type of person who actually feels like, Relebogile, I don't even believe in the concept of being comfortable in somebody else's home. Don't do it. I don't want to sleep over. I mean, I think it might have happened about during overnights where we were talking about visiting somebody that maybe sleeping over by somebody that maybe you're not 100% comfortable with. And because you're not 100% comfortable, you wouldn't go to the toilet fully, right? Now you have problems. You're like, I can't visit longer than this many days because I can't use the toilet at somebody else's house. And I was like, I didn't even know that was a thing. That's a thing? That some people are like, nope, if it's not my house, I can't just willy-nilly be going there. Or is the measure the fact that you could cook yourself something? Take out a slice of bread, make yourself eggs, and think about the people in your life and sort of assess like, hey, actually, these are the times that I've realized I'm no longer just a stranger or just a visitor. I'm a child of the household I'm within. And that brings up a conversation, of course, around boundaries. FD on my TikTok live says, people must have boundaries all the time. I prefer people ask and I don't do it. That is the biggest issue. So is it about boundaries? Or, I mean, for me, coffee is simple. Feel free to make yourself a cup of coffee. It's right there. If you've been to my house before, go and make yourself coffee. You know it is. Don't wait for me. Now you're thirsty, waiting for me so that you can have coffee. For me, that's a straightforward one. Maybe a person won't feel comfortable enough to be, just taking out a slice of bread. But I think it also depends on your personality. So I've shared before, I'm very much a host. I keep things in the home that I know my loved ones enjoy, so they must be free to go and grab them as and when they want to. But let's hear from all of you. 011 883 0702 in the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702.
Different sounds, different worlds.
Different artistic expressions, music, art, and fashion collide. Are you coming? Let's go to the place where the beat drops, the fashion pops, and the art rocks.
We're talking Focalistic, Daliwonga, Mafigi Zolo, Kurt Darren, Matera Doughboy, Zoe Mujija, Claire Johnston from Mango Groove, the Tswani Gospel Choir, and more. Mahindra Fusion Fest, Saturday 7th March, Sunbet Arena. Tickets on Ticketmaster now. See you there.
Growing a business is a 24/7 job. In fact, 55% of small business owners say they can never switch off. Usually, it's personal moments like missed date nights and long overdue holidays that pay the price. Zero wants to help you claim one back with an emotional tax return. To enter, share a moment you missed while growing your business on Instagram stories and tag @Zero, spelled with an X. Competition ends on the 22nd of March. T's and C's apply.
To walk the talk is to turn words into meaningful actions. And it's what we at 702 are committed to doing every day. We're also committed to following the rules set out by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission's Code of Conduct. To give you balanced programming, fair comment, and accurate news. But if we stumble along the way and you feel we're not living up to the code, let us know on comment@702.co.za. And if after that you're still not happy, you can direct your complaint in writing to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission, PO Box 412365, Craig Hall 2024. For more, visit bccsa.co.za.
When we talk about protecting children, what do we really mean? Is it just a roof over their heads, or is it stability, therapy, schooling, and care that helps them truly feel safe? Today on the Afternoon Drive show with John Perlman, we'll speak to Dis-Chem Foundation and Hearts of Hope about the vital role children's homes play and why these safe spaces are more important than ever. Remember, every swipe of your Dis-Chem Better Rewards card helps keep children's homes like Hearts of Hope running. The Dis-Chem Foundation, caring for the community. Every swipe counts.
702 Afternoons
with Relebogile Mabotja.
16 minutes after 1 o'clock, and we're having a conversation around the measure of I'm no longer a visitor in your home, I'm no longer a guest. I practically live here. I'm comfortable enough to do things the same way that others would do things. The topic of boundaries has come up, and I see on my TikTok live that TD is saying, I dislike people who open the fridge without asking. I mean, is opening the fridge that big of a deal? Is it? And is it because you're worried somebody's going to eat 3 eggs or 4 eggs and not 2? And is coffee or making tea like a simple enough thing? Or do you expect that all visitors should be asking each and every time they would like to have something or do something in your home? 011 883 0702 and the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702. Michael on Facebook says, 14 years and counting. My brother now, who was a friend then, my home is his and his is mine. I can never trade that bro for anything. His name is Lihle Kamini. That is my friend, my very old friend, basically what he's saying. Portia says, I don't even know, but we are family now for 15 years and counting. And I'm even thinking about maybe when you were a child. I mean, I know times have changed and, kids don't visit homes the way that they used to visit. But there were friends' homes I was at where you're no longer a visitor when they treat you the same way that they treat the children in the house. So when I would visit a friend, them treating us the same way is, number one, we'd get invited on holidays with one another and you're treated the same. There's no difference. Even when there's punishment, you are all getting punished. When it was time to do stupu or whatever needed to be done, that for me was also the thing when, I'm family. I can't read what this says. Mr. L says, in Limpopo, we have to chain the lock on the fridge. Why? Are you saying that to say that people are so comfortable that if you don't put a lock on the fridge, you're going to find many people coming in and out and just doing their own thing? Is that what it is that we are saying? And I think I've got another one. If you know where to fetch a blanket or an extra pillow, you are home. If you don't have to say, may I please, like if you know where to fetch a blanket and a pillow, you are home. And if you know that when the toilet paper in the bathroom has run out, where to get it, Aishem, you're family. You practically live there. Key says, when his mother said it was my turn to wash the dishes, that's when I... That is so fair, but I'm trying to imagine if in this era, are we asking each other's children to wash dishes if they're visiting? Like to the parents of teenagers, do you guys do that? I'm not there yet. Is it like an odd thing to do now, or is it something that is completely normal? Some of your voice notes are coming through on 072 702 1702.
Relebogile, I don't want anyone to come to my house, whether a friend, a relative, or whoever, to feel like he owns my house now. Imagine somebody not asking you, they just stand up and open the fridge and do what they like. No. They have to ask, then I will stand up, open the fridge, give them what they request. Not just stand up and, our cost of living is too high.
I love that you're saying, well, it's about cost of living. You didn't listen. We say cost of living is too high for you to just be standing up and opening the fridge. Susan in Boxburg, hi.
Hi, Relebogile, how are you?
Good, thanks, and you?
I'm good, thank you.
Mm.
So, with me, like I was telling the producers, that I feel more at home at my friend's house than I would at my dad's house.
Really?
Yeah, backstory is that my dad be married and he's got his nice knit family with the new wife. But it got to a point where whenever we needed to go see him or pop by, you can't just pop by and say, hi, we were told, we need to ask the wife, is it okay? God, I know this is not for me. To an extent that when we do go visit, which is like maybe once every 3 or 4, if something is happening, I specifically tell my children, when we get there, you don't touch things. If you want something, come to me, ask mommy, and I always make sure that I've got everything that my kids would possibly need. Like, I make sure unlike when I go to my friend's house, if I'm in the neighborhood, even if she's not home, I pop in and say,
yes.
What's for lunch? You know, the kids are happy to be there. So I think I've had to learn, it's a place where you are appreciated and embraced, but I've also learned, I must never overstay my welcome, irregardless. You understand? If I'm there for a day or 2 years, because ultimately, I had to understand more and it's somebody else. So
but doesn't that make you sad? Like, just from the perspective that obviously if you say Chai is where you are supposed to fully be yourself, but like, how do you even deal with that? And does your dad have a problem with that?
I would say that my dad he won't necessarily address it, because growing up, it's always been the case. So whichever relationship he is, we call it the flavor of the month. It's
wow, the inside joke.
Yes. So it's the inside joke. So he would rather spare the wife's feelings at our expense. So we just move on. We've accepted that that's who he is. I don't think he's ever going to change. So that's why we've got our relationship is just like that. I see him when I need to see him. I reach out to him when I need to reach out to him. I mean, yeah, it's one of those where I think he only sees my kids probably once a year, if we're lucky. Serious.
So, okay, why is this relationshiping, if I may ask?
Okay, he's the only parent I have. I lost my mother a long time ago, and as a very young child. But I've had to learn to, growing up, it was the same way. But as an adult, I had to set boundaries enough for listen. Hana, no, I've got my own place. I'm trying by all means keep independent as well. Understand? To an extent that I'm going to. There's a time I had to tell him that I'm going to teach you how to treat me. That this is not how you're supposed to treat me.
Yes.
So if this is how you want to handle things, listen. By all means, you do you. But because I don't want to now put myself to a point where my feelings are getting hurt again.
And your children's feelings, just in terms of the fact that what is the concept of a rakgolo or a grandfather?
No. So
man, I'm so sorry. But thank you so much for sharing. And I'm glad, though, that you do have a tribe and a community that welcome you and make you fully feel at home. I mean, we all love our own homes, your own bed, your own this. But to know that there is somewhere else where you can fully be yourself, what a blessing, what a gift that is. Some of your voice notes coming through on 072 702 1702.
Hi, Lebu, Prince here from Kempton Park. To me, it's I think it's measured by how you relate. We relate, me and you. If you are an open person, then I can easily get to your house. I won't even ask you if I need some water. If I can see where the cupboards are located, I can proceed, take a glass, then have some water. Why not? But my limits, I can't just get to your bedroom or have access to your privacy. But if it's a matter of coffee, then I would ask you to say, my friend, can I please have a cup of coffee? Yeah, that's how free I am. But if we are not closely related, it's so different. Even my own siblings or brothers, if the person is not friendly, trust me, I won't even have a glass of water from your house. Thank you. Good show.
Hi, Relebogile team. It's Nosipo here. I don't mind, particularly family, but I think we've got to draw a line at some point. Like with me, my bedroom off limits. I got to send you there for you to access. I think there are certain areas where we just don't budge in without asking. Opening a fridge, taking a juice or whatever, if you were very close or we are family, I don't mind that. I usually tell people that come that, look, feel free, but I don't mean feel free as in go into my room and do as you please. So there's got to be boundaries of places where you can access. Same with me. When I go to people's houses, I know which things to ask for, and I know which things that the people that I'm close to wouldn't mind if I just take. Great show, guys. Thank you.
Relebogile, good afternoon. For me, how I knew that it was home, and I must say, Ricky Melvin Thompson and Non Thompson, was when the hiding that was given was not, there was no discrimination in terms of how hidings were dished out. It was of equal measure and it was of equal, I don't know what to say, gravity or whatever. So everything and anything that would do, it was the same. If it came to giving a hiding, we would get a hiding together. If it came to us eating, and none would say, Ricky, go and see if Darian had whatever, and that's how you knew that no, you are now a child of the house. Because even if they told him to do something and he didn't do it, I would be included in the punishment and vice versa with my granny. So, yes, that's how you know.
Guys, my friends' moms or dads never hit me. Like the fact that that happened, that because your friend's in trouble, you're also getting hiding. You have lived through many things. Milton in Johannesburg. Hi, Milton.
Hello, Relay. Are you well?
I'm good, and you?
Good. Nice show.
Thank you.
I've got a different one to tell. Maybe the listeners and yourself can help. My friends, they're a couple. They find it very strange when I take, after they serve me a meal, I would stand up and take the dishes back to the sink. They frown at it.
Really?
Yes, but yes.
Is it because they feel like you should let them clear the plates for you?
I think so, but I thought I was being, neat and helpful and tidying up and all that. Yeah.
No, look, I support you. I think it's almost like it's the least you can do. Somebody's served you a meal is to get up and take your plates.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I don't really get into the fridge. Yes. But when guests come to my house, I always say, please, if you can find something in the fridge, if I want to offer them something, I always do that. I say it out loud.
Thank you so much, Milton. I never thought about that one, that you want to take your dishes, dirty dishes, to the sink, but they're the ones who are looking at you like, no, you should not be doing that. One says, hi, Lewi, you're no longer a visitor when you start complaining about the Wi-Fi. Yes, that is so true. Sorry, I never thought of that. Hi, Relebogile, boundaries. Relative and family members, it's okay. But if they bring a friend, they must bring their own groceries. Karabo, at what point are you no longer a visitor in someone's home? Like now, because somebody said when he was younger, when the friend got a hiding, he also got.
Are you serious? Wow. When I can take a nap on your couch.
Oh, that's a good one.
Or maybe I can just go into one of the bedrooms and just doze off. That's when I know
I never
I'm at
thought
home.
about that. Okay, and then what about making something for yourself, like going into? So some say opening the fridge is going too far.
Yes, I also feel like it is, eh?
But you're going in people's bedrooms and sleeping.
No, man, on the couch. I can take a nap on the couch and I'll be like, guys, I'm dozing off a low. Like I say, yeah, for me, if you're not used to them, if it's not close family members, then the fridge and just making yourself a sandwich or pouring yourself a drink, I'll be rolling my eyes in my house. I'll be like, hey, what now? Oh.
But you are actually, the napping one is such a good measure because it shows how comfortable you are. My goodness, it's just after 1:30. Now, don't forget as well, we are still giving money away, the Mahindra Fusion Fest quiz. Now, to enter, WhatsApp the keyword Mahindra to 072 702 and 702 with your name and ID number. And we could be calling you back to play for up to 10,000 Rand cash and 2 tickets to the fest right here on 702. And of course, T's and C's apply. Time for your latest Eyewitness News headlines. Good afternoon.
Thanks, Relebogile. Good afternoon. The city of Ekurhuleni has been plunged into further political instability following the resignation of Jongizizwe Tlhabati as the finance MMC. Eyewitness News understands Tlhabati is also resigning as the ANC's regional secretary following a reported fallout with regional chairperson Ekurhuleni Mayor Dr. Xhakaza. In the capital, Ekurhuleni municipality's suspended head of human resources, Linda Xhasheka, has denied being part of a clique that shielded corruption, accused Metro Police Deputy Chief Jilas Mkhwanazi from accountability. Xhasheka says she didn't know Mkhwanazi very well and was in fact scared of him after hearing that he was a dangerous man. Xhasheka has been testifying at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry in Pretoria. And the Motor Industry Staff Association, MISA, has welcomed an investigation into harmful chemicals in sanitary products sold across the country. This as the National Consumer Commission launched a probe into 9 sanitary pad and panty liner suppliers after a recent study by the University of the Free State found hormone-disrupting chemicals in several popular brands. These include brands such as Always, Lillet's, Stay Free, Kotex and WeFlow. Those are the headlines. This Eyewitness News and more at 2 o'clock or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Well, at this stage in the Centurion area, we still have those roadworks causing about a 30-minute delay. This is on the N14 northbound between the N1 Prakfontein interchange and Jean Avenue. Try to avoid that route if you can. Rather use Old Pretoria Road or even Buerta Avenue as alternatives. There's also slow-moving traffic in Melrose. This is on the M1 southbound from Colet to Killarney Bends. And look out for those faulty traffic lights in Glen Vista at Klippervier and Pelez. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Bongani Bingwa, 702 Breakfast.
Weekday mornings, 6 to 9. I describe you as a maverick economist because you often offer the contrarian position to this. Welcome this budget across the board mostly. What was your view?
Financial markets, the 5 banks and 2 insurance companies will applaud this budget, but there is nothing in the budget on 12.4 million people who are unemployed and how to address the second highest unemployment rate in the world. In my view, Bongani, the ultimate objective of the budget is to grow the economy and reduce the unemployment rate, not to balance the books.
Duma Kubule is an economist.
Bongani Bingwa, 6 to 9.
On 702.
Think fast. Fast downloads, fast streaming, fast wins. Because whether you're chasing high scores, deadlines, or the next episode, buffering is not part of the plan. That's why your home needs the power of OpenSurf Fiber, fast, reliable Wi-Fi that keeps up with your life. And when you sign up before the end of March, you'll score a free Netflix voucher. Level up your home connection with OpenSurf Fiber and feel the difference speed makes. Visit opensurf.co.za today. T's and C's apply.
Kick off to glory with Hollywood Bids and Aziz Shege. Be in the game. Go full speed ahead with the epic competition. You stand to win a share of 4 million Rand in cash and prizes, including an all-new Toyota Corolla Cross. Bet 10 Rand or more on any soccer fixture or fixtures online or at your nearest branch. Live life in the fast lane. Bet now for your chance to score. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
New deals for the Checkers extravaganza are here. Save extra on top picks like Cape Point frozen queen prawns 700 grams for 149.99. Save 90 Rand. Parmalat Everfresh Long Life Milk, a 1 litre 6-pack, any 2 for 189 Rand, save 51 Rand. And Twin Saver 2-ply toilet rolls, 24 per pack for 159.99. Valid until 1 March, only at Checkers, Checkers Hyper or shop on 6060.
The JBX Talks at this year's Joburg Film Festival offers something truly valuable for anyone interested in the business of storytelling. Join industry leaders, creators, innovators, and storytellers as they unpack the future of film, streaming, technology, and content creation. Expect insightful panel discussions, practical masterclasses, and conversations about where the creative industry is heading both locally and globally. Whether you're a professional, a student, or simply passionate about film, the JBX Talks provide real knowledge and real networking opportunities. Be part of the dialogue at the Joburg Film Festival. Secure your seat today by visiting joburgfilmfestival.co.za.
Your voice. Your life. Your afternoon radio. On 702 Afternoons. With Relebogile Mabotja.
23 minutes to 2 o'clock. And we are having a conversation around what it is or what is the moment. When is the moment where you realize you're no longer a visitor in a friend's home? You're more than a visitor because you can open the fridge, or you're comfortable enough to fall asleep or to fully use ablution facilities for their intended purposes. 011 883 0702 and the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702. There are some WhatsApp messages that have come through. One is as follows to say, when they told me to stop knocking and just come in, and then they said they're not going to serve me, I must make my own food, whether I want to cook or what. It's up to me. You see, you're at home. That is from Mosin. Another person says, I think it's important to read the room. For example, I'm pretty free at my sister's house, but a bit more measured than she is at my house, as she shares her house with her husband and I live only with my child. I can easily find my sister in my bed taking a nap, no worries. But I, on the other hand, do not enter the room she shares with her husband without a very good reason for me to be there. Bear in fourways. Good point. It makes a difference, right? If you are single and living alone versus that. So if I can go to my sister's house and I can comfortably go lay on the bed, I'm not worried the husband is coming back and he also lays here. More of your voice notes on 072 702 1702.
You know, that's where we lost it. My son is 17. He's got friends, 2 friends that they know very well. Even if when I want them to wash the car, I tell them, boys, just wash my car. And I say, no, my boy, just ask your friend. No, I tell them, they even call me dad. They know very well I'm not playing. I'm a young parent, but they know now I'm raising the kids. No matter you are a next door, you are a friend, you are my son, you are my daughter, I don't play. And they have to respect. They don't call me Malome. They know very well.
Yo, Relebogile, it's the Yo Awa guy for me. You know, Relebogile, sometimes this issue, it has nothing to do with you. Like, my niece had visited me, and then my friend came over. And then my friend went to the fridge and poured my niece's wine. And then she finished that wine, and she wanted to open the other bottle that was on the counter. Now, I am not a wine drinker, Relebogile. So in this instance, the visitors themselves about the wine that was drank. And my friend was like, no, when I come to your house, I just open the fridge and I have whatever. And I'm like, yeah, well, I think we're going to have to change that because, you know, I don't drink wine. So why are you drinking wine? And then another big one, into Banata's kaftin, you know, lunchbox food. People will just come and eat the little yogurts. You know, the little yogurts are for little people. Why are you eating the little yogurts? The little chips and I've seen big fights break out around people eating Juta's kaftin. Sure, I'll remain anonymous.
No, but guys, can we also just be fair? You know, if there are small children in the house, there are things that are allocated. Why are you going to the small Viennas and eating those things? Come on, guys, how? You know French Polonia, how? You can see that it's a Paw Patrol yogurt. Leave it. You can see frozen. It's the juice that has frozen or Shrek. Also, I mean, let's be free, but also exactly like the previous listener said, that do not, read the room rather. Read the room. Read the room. But yes, I do hope that all of you at least have one person whose home you can be comfortable in. And it doesn't matter. There are people where they'll say, please feel free. And there are other people who doesn't matter how free they tell you to be, you'll never feel free because of the type of person that you are, and vice versa. But thank you so much for all your messages and your calls.
Fashion, art, and music will take center stage. And so can you by playing the Mahindra Fusion Fest quiz on 702.
All right, it's about that time to give some money our way. The Mahindra Fusion Fest 2026 goes down on Saturday, the 7th of March at Sunbet Arena, and it's going to be a cultural revolution, fusing unique expressions of music, fashion, and art into one-off performances for one night only. Muesli's hosting, and we will have live performances like Dali Wonga, Focalistic, Kurt Darren, Claire Johnston, Zingumalo, the Tshwane Gospel Choir, and more. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster. Complete a test drive at your nearest Mahindra showroom and stand a chance to win the Mahindra XUV3XO. T's and C's apply. And we got a special somebody on the line who sent through the word Mahindra, their name and ID number. Chloe Miller in Bedford View. How are you, Chloe?
I'm good, thank you.
Oh, speak up for me, Chloe. Your levels are so low.
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, there we go. I want to make sure I can hear your answers. You get to pick a category, art, fashion, or music.
Fashion.
Fashion it is. You've got 30 seconds to answer 5 questions, and each question is worth 2,000 Rand cash if you get it right. Are you ready?
I'm ready, yes.
You've got 30 seconds. Let's start the clock. What carries your belongings?
A bag.
Fashion shows display.
Pass.
Name a type of headwear.
Alice band or headband.
Jewelry worn on your fingers.
Ring.
Mahindra Fusion Fest celebrates creative expression, including fashion.
Color, boldness.
Mahindra Fusion Fest celebrates creative expression, including fashion. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, I'm looking at the judges because there's a questionable question here that I am judges, what are we? Okay, I'm looking at the judges. Chloe, how do you think you did?
I hope I did well.
You don't sound too confident, Chloe.
I'm very nervous, but I'm good. I hope I have done well, yes.
What do you want to do with the money?
I need it for my education. I need it for so many things. It would help.
It would help, ne?
Yes,
Yo, Chloe, I don't know if it's much, but will 8,000 Rand do?
Absolutely.
Congratulations to you, Chloe. You've won yourself 8,000 Rand.
Wow,
courtesy of Mahindra. And of course, you get 2 tickets as well. Who are you going to go with?
I'm going with my best friend. I'll be taking her with.
Are you comfortable at her house, Chloe? Do you open her fridge?
I do actually open a fridge, vice versa as well. She does it at my apartment also.
No, then you guys are best friends for real. Congratulations, Chloe. Thank you so much for playing. Stay on the line so that we can take all of your details. Catch us again tomorrow for another chance to play the Mahindra Fusion Fest quiz powered by 702.
In the last 24 hours, this is what's happened in your world.
In a local government election year, a lot is riding on who will take charge of the cash-strapped City of Gold. But Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana says even before then, the National Treasury has to step in.
What form will that take is a matter of detail. But going to Johannesburg, we have got no option but to go.
Godongwana says while the correct legal path for the intervention is still under consideration, talks have already begun between the city's management and the Treasury's intergovernmental team.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.
Listen up, corporates. Wrap up your tax year on a meaningful note by donating to DKMS. Your support assists in fighting life-threatening blood cancers by enabling DKMS to recruit more potential donors, as well as raising patients' chances of finding a match. And there's an added advantage. enjoy the benefits of a Section 18A tax certificate, which grants your company a well-deserved rebate. Be a force for good this tax season by giving those in need a new lease on life. Email fundraising at dkms-africa.org to donate today.
Hello, welcome to the Crazy Store.
Hello, hi. I would like a refund for the stress ball.
Of course.
I have been squeezing it for 6 days and I'm still totally stressed out.
I see.
These safety pins, they don't work. I pin them to my pants, but they don't make me feel safe. Can I exchange them for this pepper spray?
No problem. The Crazy Store. Our quality promise means we'll replace or refund any of our products that you are not happy with.
Right, gang, are we all in? Liam? Here. Ethan? Here. Andrew? Here. Luca? Yeah. Amelia? Yeah. Violet? Yeah, Mom. Introducing the Chungun CS75 Pro, a powerful turbocharged engine, modern safety features, and room with 7 seats for everyone.
Hey, that's not everyone. You forgot Choppy, Mom.
Oh, Choppy. The all-new CS75 Pro from $4,999 per month. T's and C's apply.
Chungun, driven to evolve. Volpes, your home of linen, is giving you 20% off everything this weekend. Yes, that's 20% off bed linen, curtains, pillows, towels, and more. Hurry to your nearest Volpes store or shop online at bash.com. But don't wait, this offer's valid until Sunday only. Volpes, made by South Africans, loved by South Africans.
702
Belief Matters.
Exploring culture, traditions, religion,
and the beliefs that shape our world.
13 minutes to 2 o'clock in our Belief Matters feature for today. We're talking about Ramadan, Lent, and Lunar New Year. They happen to coincide for the first time since 1863. That is quite a while back. Now, we are exploring the spiritual and symbolic meaning that this holds across these faiths. And you can get in touch with us on 011 883 0702 in the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702. We're joined by Jaco Beyers, who is the head of Department of Religion Studies at the Faculty of Theology and Religion at the University of Pretoria. Jaco, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me, and good afternoon to the listeners.
If we are to just very much in summary explain what Ramadan observes, what Lent observes, and then what a Lunar New Year are before we talk about where they come together.
Yes, sure. Now, Ramadan, of course, a major Muslim festival, annual festival, and it's actually referring to the name of the month, Ramadan. And the Muslim belief is that this is a sacred, holy month because this is the month during which the Prophet Muhammad received the revelation of the Quran. So it's a very holy month for them to celebrate. And in order to express this celebration, Muslims across the world celebrate this whole month of Ramadan by fasting. Now, fasting would mean from daybreak till sunset, nothing, eat or drink. Of course, there are exceptions for babies and sick people, but at least the majority do not have anything to eat or drink for the whole duration of as long as the sun is shining. After sunset, yes, a small dinner before sunrise, a small breakfast would be fine. But for the whole month, this celebration, thinking of the sacredness of the reception of the Quran, but also thinking of others who do not have anything to eat. So in a sense, sensitizing yourself towards what does it feel like if you have nothing to eat. The end of Ramadan is celebrated by a huge festival with huge food that this end of the fast is celebrated.
Okay, and then with Lent?
Yes, Lent, of course, that's a Christian celebration. Now, Lent is a celebration of 40 days prior to Easter. And Lent is a period during which Christians would then think about, reflect on what is happening at Easter, reflect on own awareness of their own sin, own vulnerability, of course, also reflecting on the path Christ has walked and eventually died on a cross on Easter Friday and resurrected on Sunday. So during this 40 days, many Christians also, depending on the particular tradition and denomination, would also participate in a fasting activity. And these fasting activities take on different forms. It might mean refraining from certain food or refraining from some customs or practices that you might hold. So the fast is not prescribed in terms of what you should and should not do, but it's merely a time of spiritual awareness in preparation for the Easter to come after the 40 days of Lent.
Oh, all right. So now when we look at Lunar New Year and all of these happening at the same time after such a long time, why is it significant if it is?
Yes, thank you. Now, I think your last part of the question is the important part. Is it really significant? Well, as I've indicated, the Ramadan as well as Lent is an annual event taking place. So annually, Christians and Muslims have these celebrations. Now, this year, it coincides with the Lunar New Year. Well, just in short, that, of course, is the calculation of the arrival of a new year by way of following a moon cycle. Every full moon is calculated, reaching an end of a year, moving over to a new year. So, all right, so as to your question, is there any religious or spiritual significance to this? Well, I think for those who wanted to mean something, for those who wanted to have a spiritual meaning, there will be. But it doesn't necessarily mean it is obvious that there is some kind of spiritual meaning attached to the coincidence of these three events, which is just occurring this year.
And in terms of what both, Ramadan and Lent, which I would say on some level involve reflection and some form of self-sacrifice through things like fasting. From your perspective, do you think it makes this more powerful that Ramadan and Lent are happening at the same time, where it's two different faiths?
Yeah, no, of course, thank you. I think it is important in the sense that it does create opportunities for religious communities to reach out to one another and just acknowledge at least the human shared need for spiritual awareness, the shared need for devotion and care of others. So in that sense, it does create an opportunity. I don't think religions would like us to imply that they overlap and somehow share similarities. The meaning, of course, of these activities are different, but the mere meaning that they have some kind of similarity in terms of meaning and sense, and on this occasion, it happens at the same time. Well, I mean, it creates an opportunity to reach out and talk to one another about the meaning of this for you personally and how it enriches your spiritual experience. So it does create an opportunity for interreligious dialogue and conversation, I suppose. The whole issue of searching for something deeper, meaning deeper than this, I think we need to go into our anthropology, understanding, well, of course, our minds are programmed in such a way that our minds demand explanations. We want to know what's happening. So if something extraordinary happens, we want to understand, we want to explain what's happening around us. And that human trait creates a danger in the sense that we're somehow forcing meaning into something that's just a coincidence that it might happen in the same time. So we should be careful of forcing meaning into something which has actually nothing to do with one another. I mean, for all practical reasons, we might consider Christianity and Islam like two train tracks running parallel to one another, never touching, never crossing. So in that sense, it becomes a bit of forced interpretation when we try and say, but there is some assigned meaning to this event overlapping. And it might just be a subjective interpretation then as well. And that we should be wary of.
All right, I want to go to the lines. We've got on 011 702, the WhatsApp line 072 702 and 702. We have Ibrahim in Johannesburg. Ibrahim, you've got a comment on Ramadan.
Yes, thank you, and welcome to your guest. I just want to correct one of two aspects of what your guest represented Ramadan to be. Firstly, Ramadan is not a festival.
Mhm.
That's the first thing I need to correct.
Mhm.
It's a month of fasting. It is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. Just like believing in one God is a pillar of Islam, Ramadan, fasting in the month of Ramadan, is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. The fact that the Quran was revealed in the month of Ramadan is a secondary issue. And
Okay.
your guest seemed to indicate that the reason why we have Ramadan is because the Quran was revealed in Ramadan. No, the main issue and the fundamental issue is that it is one of the 5 pillars of Islam which make you a Muslim.
Let me get Yaku. Maybe you can respond to that one.
Yes, no, of course. No, thank you for that correction. Of course, Ramadan is one of the 5 pillars. That should have been mentioned right from the outset. So, no, for sure. I don't disagree with that. It's totally correct. It's one of the 5 pillars that Muslims follow. So, no, of course, that is true. The meaning of the Quran being revealed during Ramadan, yes, you're right as that as well. It is a secondary reason, of course. It's just lending the sacred, the holiness aspect to the month of Ramadan. I just wanted to emphasize that. But you're perfectly right in that.
Thank you. And Ibrahim, if I may ask, being a person who follows the Islamic faith, is this all to you just a coincidence, or do you think there's any significance of Lent and, Lunar New Year happening at the same time as Ramadan?
Okay, one of the things that needs to be considered is that because we follow the lunar month, the month of Ramadan comes earlier by about 10 days in every calendar year. So the lunar month is approximately, because the lunar month is only 29 or 30 days, and there are some days in the calendar, Gregorian calendar, which are 31 days, you find that the Ramadan moves earlier and earlier through the Gregorian calendar every year by about 10 days. So as the lunar year is about 10 days shorter than the Gregorian calendar. And therefore, you'll find that the month of Ramadan, as we move year to year, starts 10 days, approximately 10 days earlier every year.
Yes, yes.
So I would agree that it may be a coincidence that Ramadan and Lent happen to be at the same time this year.
Oh, thank you so much, Ibrahim, for chatting to us. Yaku, from your side, final thoughts on this? I mean, I love what you were saying about sometimes things, because I think this applies to everything. Sometimes things are a coincidence, but you are the one who chooses to place meaning on it, because it will mirror back to you what you are putting out to it.
Yeah, no, you're right. Of course. Thank you, Ibrahim. Explained it very well in terms of the mathematical calculation of when Ramadan is, and it just puts it into perspective how it relates to the calculation of Lent. Now, perhaps just from my side, I think it is important, as you've mentioned lastly, that of course it depends on your own matrix from which you are speaking. If you have a particular inclination towards astrology, for example, you will seek meaning in natural phenomena, spiritual meaning. But for somebody living in a different matrix, it is not necessarily obvious that there is spiritual meaning in the occurrence of natural phenomena. Just to illustrate it, I mean, who decides which natural phenomena have deeper spiritual meaning and which don't? I mean, a volcanic eruption, there's how many volcanic eruptions on Earth every day? But we do not assign spiritual meaning to each of them every day. So who makes that decision? But the implication is it's subjective. If you're working and thinking and living from a particular matrix, you might be feeling the need to explain spiritual value and meaning in every phenomenon that you perceive and see in front of you.
Yaku, thank you so much for your time and speaking to us about it. And maybe it's an opportunity for you to reflect and decide for yourself what all of this means. Our consumer rights feature is happening in the next hour with Wendy Nola, 011 883 0702, the WhatsApp line 072 702 and 702.
This is EWN.
Good afternoon, I'm Mikey Malapo. We begin with news just in. ANC leader in Johannesburg, Loyiso Masuku, has been officially elected as the city's first ever deputy mayor. Masuku was elected uncontested to the newly created role during this afternoon's city council session. She previously held the position of finance MMC, which has now been incorporated into the office of the deputy mayor. This means the ANC holds both the mayor and deputy mayor positions in the coalition-led city government. Council Speaker Margaret Arnolds officially announced the election results.
I, Loyiso Masuku, hereby accept the nomination for the position of Deputy Executive Mayor for the City of Johannesburg. Thank you.
Colleagues, the results are as follows. We only had one person, and Councillor Masuku has been duly elected as the Deputy Executive Mayor of the City of Johannesburg.
Meanwhile, in the East Rand, city of Ekurhuleni has been plunged into further political instability following the resignation of Jongizizwe Dlabati as the finance MMC. Eyewitness News understands Dlabati is also resigning as the ANC's regional secretary following a reported fallout with regional chairperson Ekurhuleni Mayor Dr. Xhakaza. The pair held a media briefing last Friday where they assured the residents of Ekurhuleni that the city was stable. However, over the past week, the EFF has pulled out of the ANC-led coalition government in the city, with Action SA also refusing offers to join. Alpha Ramushwana has more.
Eyewitness News has seen Jongizizwe Dlabati's resignation letter, which he sent to the office of the ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula. He's stepping down not only as the MMC for Finance in Ekurhuleni, but also as the ANC's Regional Secretary, a position he had long aspired to hold. His resignation comes just hours after Ekurhuleni Mayor Dr. Xhakaza announced new appointments to the mayoral committee, leaving the 10-member structure with another vacancy. In his resignation letter, Dlabati explained that stepping down was in the best interest of the ANC. Today marks his final day serving as both MMC and the ANC's Regional Secretary. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News.
We move to the capital, where Ekurhuleni Municipality's suspended head of human resources, Linda Xhasheka, has denied being part of a clique that shielded corruption-accused Metro Police Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi from accountability. Xhasheka says she didn't know Mkhwanazi very well and was in fact scared of him after hearing that he was a dangerous man. Xhasheka has been testifying at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry in Pretoria. Tabiso Goba has more.
One of the allegations leveled against Linda Xhasheka was that as the head of HR, she didn't implement disciplinary measures against Ekurhuleni's Deputy Metro Police Chief, Julius Mkhwanazi. This was despite the fact there was a report by police watchdog IPED implicating Mkhwanazi in fraud and corruption. Xhasheka says shortly after the report, she met with the Chief of Police and other senior officials to discuss what needed to be done with Mkhwanazi.
A day or 2 days later, Chief kept on calling me and says, acting HOD, you have to sign the suspension. I've got a professional duty to sign, despite I'm safe or I'm not safe. And I want it to be recorded here. I think it is on the documents that ultimately I did sign the intention to suspend.
Xhasheka says after signing Mkhwanazi's suspension letter, she requested a risk threat analysis be conducted on her life and family. However, it was never done. Tabiso Goba, Eyewitness News.
Meanwhile, in the National Assembly, forensic investigator Paul O'Sullivan has again denied being a foreign agent and says the allegations leveled against him are made by criminals. O'Sullivan says it's a dishonest and false narrative that he's a spy who came to South Africa from England. O'Sullivan was back before the Parliament ad hoc committee investigating police corruption to continue his evidence. Babala Ndenza has more.
Paul O'Sullivan continued his evidence where he left off earlier this month by responding to questions about his past. He told the committee that it was former President Thabo Mbeki who first mentioned that he was a foreign agent while discussing him with former Commissioner Jackie Selebi. O'Sullivan adds that he's never been part of any wrongdoing or crime syndicate, and it's only those that are implicated in criminal activity that are accusing him.
Yes, Chairman, I think it's unreasonable. The people
that was your last question.
People that come with these conclusions do so for criminal purposes. And all the allegations that have been fired at me have come via criminals. So you've got this criminal underworld that create this narrative.
O'Sullivan has concluded his evidence and will be followed by the testimony of former Acting Commissioner Khomotso Phahlane. Babalo Ndenze, Eyewitness News.
And the Motor Industry Staff Association, MISA, has welcomed an investigation into harmful chemicals in sanitary products sold across the country. This as the National Consumer Commission launched a probe into 9 sanitary pad and panty liner suppliers after a recent study by the University of the Free State found harmful elements in 9 tested products. These include brands such as Kotex, Always, WeFlow, Stay Free and Liletz. The report found that pads and panty liners from the brands contain a chemical that causes hormonal imbalances, infertility, endometriosis and cancer. The suppliers have been requested to carry out additional testing and provide the latest laboratory results for evaluation. MISA spokesperson Phakamile Hlubi-Majola says menstrual products are essential health items used daily by millions of women and any risk to consumer safety is deeply alarming.
Some of these brands that are being investigated are widely used by working women, including many MISA members. The possibility that essential menstrual products may expose users to toxic chemicals is completely unacceptable.
The association is also demanding full transparency regarding the levels and the risks of chemicals detected.
We're also demanding consistent communication of any confirmed dangers, as well as stronger regulation and mandatory safety testing of all menstrual products.
Gold's trading at $5,163.66 an ounce. The rand's at 15.90 to the dollar, at 21.50 to the pound, at 18.76 to the euro. Brent crude oil's at $69.87 a barrel.
You can still expect about a 30-minute delay. That's in the Centurion area heading into the Pretoria CBD on the N14 northbound from the N1 Brakfontein interchange to Jean Avenue. This is all due to roadworks in Lombardy Estate. Still in Pretoria, traffic heavily backed up on Graham Road approaching Boschkop.
A look at your weather. It's a partly cloudy afternoon in Gauteng today with isolated showers expected. Temperatures are peaking at highs between 27 and 28 degrees. The top story in Eyewitness News this hour, it's News Justin. ANC leader in Johannesburg, Loyiso Masuku, has been officially elected as the city's first ever deputy mayor.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
You're with Relebogile Mabotja.
Live, streaming countrywide
On the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM.
Minutes after 2 o'clock, the second and final hour, 7:02 afternoons, with me, Relebogile Mabotja. We're going to be jumping into our consumer rights feature that will be taking place with Wendy Nola. So get in touch with us, 011 8830702, SMS us 31702, tweet at Relebogile M at Radio 702 using the hashtag 702 afternoons, and the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702.
702.
Nola knows.
And it is about that time. Nola knows with Wendy Nola, as we do on a Thursday. And you can get in touch with us, 011 8830702, the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702. Wendy, happy Thursday. How are you?
And to you, Relebogile, I'm great. I hope you are too.
I am doing well, and let's jump straight into it because we know this conversation of debt review, every single time we bring it up, we have so many people, we don't even have enough time to get to everybody having issues and many questions.
So at the best of times, debt review is not an easy process for people. It is a great solution, a legal solution for people who are over indebted to the point that there's not enough salary or income left for the month. But it does take a lot of guts to admit that you're in over your head and that things aren't going to come right rather on their own without, some kind of major intervention. So the Debt Council will ask you a lot of very triggering personal financial questions, make you separate your needs from your wants. Do you really need 2 cars in the family? Do you really need those gym memberships? That kind of thing. And then you commit to a monthly lump sum that you pay over, and that gets dispersed among your creditors. And some years later, depending on how much debt you had and how quickly you can pay it off, you summit the debt mountain, free at last. And that has been the happy result for many. But there is a problem with a practicality problem with a component of the entire system that's called the debt help system, the DHS. And that is causing a lot of problems for both the debt counselors and their clients, because information about people being onboarded and people being ready to exit, having got to the summit of the mountain, none of those updates are able to be done at the moment and haven't been since the 3rd of February, so for most of this month. And so I thought we would, it's about time now, it's been a few weeks, it's about time we talk about it. What happened, what's going to happen in the meantime to make things work the way they should. So the first thing to know is that the system didn't just wobble and crash on its own. The system was intentionally taken offline by the National Credit Regulator on the 3rd of February, as I said, as what they're calling a precautionary measure, following reports, this is their wording, of potential misconfiguration issues. So for most people, that'll just be words saying there's some kind of a problem, but we're not sure what, or we're not telling you exactly what. So joining us today is Benai Sega, who heads up South Africa's largest debt counselling company, Debt Busters, and hopefully help us understand what misconfiguration means for us ordinary people. So I'm hoping he's on standby, is he?
Yes, he is indeed. Welcome to the show, Benai.
Thank you for having me, both of you. And Wendy, you explained debt counseling very well. I think you're ready to register as a debt counselor. And,
actually, I support that. She knows enough.
Yeah.
No. When it comes to this issue, it's multifaceted. Before you jump in with what's going on with this, what was that word again? Misconfiguration. Please, for context, tell us how many South Africans, more or less, are currently under debt review in total.
Yeah, it's a good place to start. So there's currently about 250 to 300,000 people paying
it's a lot.
Via the system, who are currently paying down their debt. And I must say, they are paying large amounts of money to take control of their finances. So I think that's great. And if you look back to the beginning, there's been about 2.2 million people who benefited from debt counseling over the last 15 years. So the numbers are not small. I think it's good in terms of, as you rightfully said, for those who need it, it can become a lifesaver. We see this, and I think it can be a fantastic way of getting back on your financial feet, so to speak. Now, the debt,
as long as you go to the correct debt counsellor, shall we just say?
Exactly. And I know on this show, this topic has been discussed many times, and we have been very vocal about, choosing the right, ethical practice, all of that. I think it's very, very important. Yeah.
Okay. If I could just jump in there for 1 second, because I can't discuss this topic without issuing this warning. If you get a call from someone that says, we can help you pay less and lower installments every month, we've got a mandate from the National Credit Regulator or the government or anything like that, and they start telling you that you can pay 40% less, you're overpaying, just put the phone down, please. What they're doing is, then they send you a little form, say, consent here, is getting you under debt review under false pretenses. So if you're not genuinely over indebted, and only a debt counsellor can decide with your help whether you are or not, you don't qualify for any help, right? We all think we're paying too much on our installments. We'd all rather pay less, but those are complete scabengas. Please put the phone down. It's not the way to get into. If you want to get into debt counseling, as far as I'm concerned, you make that call. You don't wait for somebody to phone you and try and talk you into it. Okay, I just want to put that out there because, Benai, so many people are still falling for this. I get the emails pretty much on a weekly basis, and then it's a huge, expensive schlep to then get out of that debt counseling situation. Okay, so let's talk about what's currently, the system's working fine. It's just a practical problem with the fact that this debt help system, the DHS, is not functioning at the moment, which is causing all kinds of problems. If you could just share with our listeners what's gone wrong there, if you can.
Yeah, definitely. Excuse me. So the debt help system has been around for about 15 years or so, and it's been working to actually, it's a very good system. The concept is the following. So debt counselors use the debt help system to basically upload information about a consumer when they start, all the way from the very start of their debt counseling journey, all the way until the end. And the reason for this, for using such a system, is it links automatically with all of the major credit bureaus, and on a daily basis, it transmits information to the credit bureaus. So it's a good conduit, if you will, between what debt counselors are uploading and what credit bureaus are receiving. And the National Credit Regulator manages the debt help system, and it's been around for about 15 odd years. So it's very vital for a debt counselor to have access to the debt help system, because that's where you basically inform the rest of the credit industry and credit bureaus about when the consumer starts and finishes debt counseling and everything else that comes in between. So what happened is, as you rightfully said, in early February, on a Monday morning, trying to log into the debt help system, there was a notification saying it's not accessible. And as you pointed out earlier, subsequently we learned that it was taken down for fixing things. Now, a misconfiguration could mean many different things. We hoping that it means that there were some vulnerabilities that were identified with the system, and they are being fixed. But it has been down for about 3 or actually 4 weeks now, and I think I'm sure we're going to get to it as to like how we can actually help consumers, particularly who are needing to get clearance certificates. I think that's probably where we're going to head next.
Okay. Yes. So. The deputy, I'm just trying to find it in my notes here so I don't misrepresent it. Yeah, the deputy CEO of the NCR, Lynette de Beer, gave some interesting detail about this misconfiguration issue when answering questions in Parliament this week. Bernard, do you want to summarize that, or shall I?
You can go for it. I'll add in the bits that I know that we read. Yes, go for it.
Okay, so apparently, apart from the cyber event of last November, that is unrelated, so I'm not going to spend time going into that. The NCR identified an unrelated data protection incident on the debt help system, the DHS. It arose from a configuration issue that resulted in, and here's the important bit, unintended public accessibility of certain data. So the DHS, as you said, is designed to track the progress of consumers who enter the debt review process all the way through to when they exit it years later. And then the NCR said, we took a decision to take down the system offline, rather than early Feb, so that we can do penetration testing. So they're trying to sort of shut down that vulnerability. So what did that unintended public accessibility of certain data look like to you as somebody on the inside, Benai?
Yeah, so what that would mean is that as part of our duties as debt counselors, we also have to upload client information as well as documentation. So most likely what that means is that they figured out that some of the documentation could be accessible to third parties without authorization. So how you normally access the debt help system is each debt counselor gets a unique identifier and a login and a password. And you use that to log in. And a debt help system is only meant to be only accessible to debt counselors, again, for uploading and renewing information and documentation. We understand, I think from the comments made in Parliament and otherwise, that something was identified that anyone else could potentially have access to the documentation. And I think, when we're talking about hundreds of thousands of consumers and potentially like a few million where there would be documentation, I believe that it was probably identified that there was big risk when it comes to consumer information. So that they shut it down
Copy
to make
Act.
sure that yes, exactly.
Major problems. Okay, so they sorting that out. Do you have any idea of when the fix, or let's put it this way, when the NCR will be satisfied that misconfiguration that made a lot of people, what did you say, 250,000 people odd, that made their personal financial information available to people that it shouldn't have been available to? Any idea when they're going to get to the point where they feel that vulnerability has been identified and shut down?
Yeah, we haven't been, so Wendy, we haven't been notified anything. We haven't been communicated. And I think just like everybody else, we also checked the NCR website for updates. There hasn't been any specific communication to us state councillors to say, expect the system to be up and running by this particular date. So we don't quite know, but I think if it's been down for about 4 weeks, we believe it was quite serious and it required serious testing. So I think the hope in all of this is that whatever vulnerability has been identified, firstly, that it was identified before a lot of people were able to access, or anyone was able to access personal information. And secondly, that it is being addressed in full in such a way that, the vulnerability is gone.
Great. Okay. So I've heard from a few people who have finally paid off their debt. It's a huge feeling of achievement and relief and all the rest. You'll know this better than most, what the emotions are. But now they still flagged on the system. The flag can't be removed because it's down, and they're not free because of this little technicality. So legally, they are entitled to now access new credit, because that's the main downside of being under debt review is you're not hassled by credit providers anymore, but you can't get any new credit. And that's a long time for many people to not even be able to, take out a cell phone contract. So there has to be a fix, right, in the interim, so that credit and information on the credit bureau can be updated. Why don't you share with us what that fix is on the interim and how it's playing out practically?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, some of the information we should provide in writing if needed, so people know exactly which email addresses and so on to go. So we have been in discussions with the Credit Bureau Association, and they also recognize the severity of the situation, and they also recognize that because of the uncertainty of the timeline as to when the system will be back up, then we have to put in an alternative solution. So how things would ordinarily run is following: that when someone is paid up their debt, we would be given all the paid up letters or zero balance letters for all the accounts, and then we would upload those. We would verify that they are legitimate. We would upload those to the debt help system, and we would change the status of the individual to say, yes, they have cleared their debt and now they're debt-free, which is an amazing feeling, by the way, as you rightfully said. Then we would take the screenshot of that. We would take the screenshot of that, attach all of the paid up letters, and email all 6 major credit bureaus, and they would use that as proof, that screenshot part is the important part, which I'm going to get to. That screenshot from Debt Help System was the proof that I've done my job as a debt counselor on the main system, and that they would also remove the flag when you get clearance. Now, because of the severity of this situation, we are unable to access the system. So I'm unable to produce a screenshot or in fact, I'm unable to make any status updates for any of the consumers. So therefore, the credit bureaus have undertaken that instead of requesting that, we would email them the paid up letters and the clearance certificate without the screenshot. They're not mandating that anymore, which is great, I think, in the interim.
Okay. Yes.
Debt counselors must do that, which most debt counselors, as we say, the good ones, would be doing in any case. Email all 6 major bureaus the paid up letters and the clearance certificate as proof, and then they have undertaken that they would actually correct the right statuses in the interim because of this unreliability or inaccessibility of the debt help system.
So for somebody to be with debt counselors who are just
Wendy,
struggling, they've now reached... Yes.
Can I just take a moment to interrupt? Because we've got somebody who wants to comment on what we're busy discussing now, a member of Parliament, and I thought let's quickly jump and hear some of their input. Toby Chance in Johannesburg. Toby, how are you?
Yeah, very good. Thank you very much, Phil. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just switched on my radio and I happened to be listening to this discussion. I'm the DA spokesman on trade, industry and competition. Benet and I have been corresponding on this matter, and I was in the meeting yesterday. So I just wanted, if you wouldn't mind, just to allow me to corroborate what he's saying, just to sort of add Parliament's perspective on this. Can I just sort of comment on that, if I may? Because
Pleasure.
This is an issue.
Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, thank you. And I mean, obviously, it's a major issue for, as you say, millions of people who are either in debt counselling or not, but are struggling. And the help system is a vital part of it. And I must admit that the acting CEO, Mr. Beer, was very helpful yesterday when she was very transparently giving explanations for what happened, not just with the help system, but also the hack that they had. And it's important to understand that, as Benet said, these are 2 separate IT problems, but they're both extremely serious. And, the committee was very keen to hear exactly what has been going on because of the potential for long-term damage. But I do believe that the bona fides of the NCR acting CEO, that the systems are being fixed. It's all hands on deck, as she was saying, that they are doing whatever they can to fix the problems. But it is a worrying trend in many government institutions that they have these ransomware attacks. The South African Bureau of Standards is a very high-profile example of that, just from a broader perspective. But so Benet, I think that he's very much on top of this matter, and all the debt counselling people are concerned about it. But also, I don't know whether earlier in the program you were talking about the issue of the fees for the debt counsellors, because this is also a bone of contention, that the fees haven't been adjusted for 10 years.
We hadn't got there.
We hadn't got there yet, Toby. But what is
Are you getting onto that topic?
We're still going to be
part of our discussion.
Yeah. So, but what did you want to raise, Toby, around that?
Well, no, just the fact that again, the Debt Counsellors Association came to see us about this over a year ago, and it is a problem because the industry is dependent upon obviously these people being able to make money. They're not trying to gouge people; they just have to make a decent living. And when the fees haven't been adjusted for 10 years after inflation, it means that they're just not economic. So, again, it's something which the NCR said has been reviewed. A document has been submitted to the ministry, and we asked that the document be shared with the members of the portfolio committee. And as soon as that has been shared, we'll be in a better position to comment on whether we think the adjustments or the proposed adjustments are fair and equitable.
Toby, thank you so much for calling in and to corroborate what Benet was sharing. I'm not sure, Wendy, as we are preparing to go to the news, if you want to quickly give some response to Toby, and then we pick it up when we come back.
Okay, so the fees is a separate issue, and I think that is an issue that Benet would be best placed to comment on from the industry side, because that's not something that the consumers deal with. But I just wanted to say to anyone, so I had a couple of emails from people who finally paid their debt off and now they can't cross the finish line and have the flag removed from their status on the credit bureau because they're being told the debt help system is down. Just legally, in terms of Section 72 of the National Credit Act, it essentially says that every person has the right to be compensated by people who report incorrect information to a registered credit bureau, and for the cost of correcting that information. So incorrect information would be, I'm still under debt for you, when you've actually got a clearance letter and you've exited. So don't take no for an answer. If this is your situation and you're with a debt counselor who says, I can't do anything, the DHS is down, nonsense. The Credit Act applies, and they must then go through the much long-winded process that Benai has said, contacting the credit bureaus, with the information, sort of the long way rather than the short way via the DHS. It just doesn't mean because the DHS is down that communication must stall. People who deserve to be exiting debt review must still do it, regardless of the DHS working or not. I just wanted to end the conversation by making that point.
And I think I completely agree with you, because your systems having issues have nothing to do with the person. There should be something that they're able to use or show, because legally, as you say, they are entitled to now be able to get credit and whatever else that they need to. But it is just after 2:30. We continue when we come back. It is time for your latest Eyewitness News headlines. Good afternoon.
Thanks, Relebogile. Good afternoon. It's the big story this afternoon. ANC leader in Johannesburg, Loyiso Masuku, has been officially elected as the city's first ever deputy mayor. Masuku was elected uncontested to the newly created role during this afternoon's city council session. She previously held the position of finance MMC, which has now been incorporated into the office of the deputy mayor. The cabinet says government has now recovered more than 16 billion rand in assets as a result of the State Capture Commission. Minister in the Presidency, Khumbudzo Ntshabeni, says this is a significant return on investment, considering the state spent 1 billion rand on running the inquiry. Taking stock of government's progress in implementing the recommendations at a cabinet meeting yesterday, it noted that 57% of the recommended actions have now been addressed. And an inquest into the death of renowned Nigerian novelist Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's 21-month-old son will formally begin on the 14th of April. The date was set during a preliminary hearing at the Yaba Magistrates Court in Lagos, roughly 7 weeks after Nkanu Nnamdi Esege died at a Eurocare hospital. Adichie and her family have accused Eurocare of negligence, saying medics denied Nkanu oxygen and gave him too much sedation, causing a cardiac arrest. Those are the headlines. This Eyewitness News and more at 3 o'clock or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Centurion heading into the Pretoria CBD. You can still expect about a 20-minute delay on the N14 northbound from the N1 Brakfontein interchange all the way to Jean Avenue due to ongoing roadworks. Lombardy Estate still in Pretoria. Traffic heavily backed up on Graham Road approaching Boschkop. There's also faulty traffic lights in Ilovo at Collet and Oxford. Traffic lights not working in Glen Vista at Kliprefir and Belez. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The JBX Talks at this year's Joburg Film Festival offers something truly valuable for anyone interested in the business of storytelling. Join industry leaders, creators, innovators, and storytellers as they unpack the future of film, streaming technology, and content creation. Expect insightful panel discussions, practical masterclasses, and conversations about where the creative industry is heading, both locally and globally. Whether you're a professional, a student, or simply passionate about film, the JBX Talks provide real knowledge and real networking opportunities. Be part of the dialogue at the Joburg Film Festival. Secure your seat today by visiting joburgfilmfestival.co.za.
New deals for the Checkers extravaganza are here. Save extra on top picks, like ready-to-fry grill house-style pre-cooked marinated pork spare ribs for $149.99 per kilo. Clover Buttro 500 grams for $79.99. And Omo Auto liquid detergent 1.5 litre or capsules 14 per pack. Any two for 145 Rand. Valid until 1 March. Only at Checkers, Checkers Hyper or shop on 6060.
This is financial year end. This is financial year end supercharged with the help of Zero Small Business Accounting software. Try Zero free for 30 days. Terms apply. Search Zero with an X.
Clientele is here to safeguard you and your family with compassion because life happens. Be part of a family that truly cares. Our funeral dignity plans have helped South Africans bury their loved ones with dignity for more than 30 years. Let us help you create a meaningful tribute that honors your life and those of your loved ones. We pay out within 24 hours and you will get double accident cover with a clientele funeral plan. Our plans are affordable. Pick the option that suits your needs. It's easy to apply. No medical examinations and no paperwork. SMS funeral to 31586. That's 31586. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
When we talk about protecting children, what do we really mean? Is it just a roof over their heads, or is it stability, therapy, schooling, and care that helps them truly feel safe? Today in the afternoon drive show with John Perlman, we'll speak to the Dis-Chem Foundation and Hearts of Hope about the vital role children's homes play and why these safe spaces are more important than ever. Remember, every swipe of your Dis-Chem Better Rewards card helps keeps children's homes like Hearts of Hope running. The Dis-Chem Foundation, caring for the community, every swipe counts.
Coming up
On 702 Drive with John Perlman.
702 Drive is coming up from 3 to 6 p.m. with John Perlman. John, how are you doing?
Yes, very well, thanks. And you, Relebogile, big day for you, eh?
Big day, nerve-wracking, and you decided to just fly away. John, how convenient.
Well, you decided to have it on a day when I was out of town.
Eish.
Straight back at you.
Eish, we're going to have to make it up to one another.
We will.
What's coming up on your show today?
So, coming up on the show, a couple of very interesting by-elections, different parts of the country. We always speak to Wayne Sussman when there's a little flurry of by-elections to look for political trends. That's, of course, of particular importance, this being an election year. He's with us at about 25 minutes past 3. Paul O'Sullivan walked out of Parliament with members of the ad hoc committee looking into police corruption, criminality and political interference, saying, where are you going? We'll talk to Babalo and Denze about how all of that played out. We're going to find out more about a rhino trafficker, someone very key to investigations into this crime, who was arrested. We're going to get a better understanding of who the person is and why the arrest is so significant. And we're going to keep up on that story of the 11 men who came back having been tricked into going to Russia and then abducted and forced to fight on the front line of that country's war against Ukraine. All that and plenty more on 702 Drive.
702 Drive coming up from 3 to 6 p.m. with John Perlman.
702
Nola Knows.
We continue with our consumer rights feature, Nola Knows, and we are having a conversation around South Africa's debt review industry. 011 883 0702, the WhatsApp line 072 702 and 702. We also have with us executive head of Debt Busters, Benay Sega, and we really have been delving into some of the challenges at the moment and what that means for all of you. So, Wendy, let's pick it up from there.
Well, I think we were pretty much at the end of the conversation, wanting to hear from listeners who might be affected and want some more information. But if you could just give some general advice then to anyone who finds themselves in this situation, Benay, who's got to the end of got to the top of the mountain, to stick with my analogy, free at last, but just this technicality means they've still got the flag on their profile and they can't take out any new credit until it's not there. What should they know And what information should they have to give their debt counsellor if the debt counsellor says, sorry for you, but we can't do anything. Our hands are tied. The DHS, the debt help system, is down.
Apologies, Wendy, I missed that.
Also,
sorry, Benay, go ahead. That was my error. Go ahead.
No, I think for you to get your clearance reflecting on the bureau, which allows you to access new credit, you basically need three things to be in place. One, you have to have paid up all your debt, or be in possession of what's known as paid up letters. That's one. Number two is your debt counselor, based on that, needs to issue you what's known as a clearance certificate, or Form 19, technically known. That's the second thing. And the third thing is your debt counselor needs to inform the debt help system that you are on a cleared status. Now, we can't do number 3 at the moment. That's what we established. But we can do numbers 1 and 2 independently from that. So what and normally we would do that in any case. And your debt counselor, they should do in the normal course of business, once they've done your update, they also email your paid up letters as well as your clearance certificate to all the 6 major credit bureaus. They have to do that, and they should be doing that whether there is a debt help system or not in any case. So I'm urging you to make sure that you tell your debt counselor to do this, and then that credit bureaus are taking the extra step in the interim to use that as the basis of changing of the status. So I think that's what's different. So that should run its course like it normally does. I think, if people are having trouble with this, I suppose, Wendy, they can email you and we'll try to help them, via yourself. I think that's probably the best place to leave it.
We do have a question, though, Wendy, for Benay, if I can...
just one last thing. All right, let's take...
Yes, we've got Ricky in Mamelodi. You've got an issue... can you chat to us, Ricky, about your situation with debt review?
Okay, I'll try to be quick. Thank you so much. Hello, Relay. Hello, Wendy, and hello to the guests. So my issue is that a very quick one is I just got work 2023, and then I got a call. It's a scam. A few months later, I'm owing this bank that I need to pay, and then blah blah blah. I'm under debt review. I'm getting paid well. I've got a good salary. The thing is that I'm not interested in debt, only to find out now I need debt in order to accrue some other things in my future. I need a house. I need a profile. So I'm in huge trouble because I don't know who to trust anymore. I'm getting people who I initially had to pay like 10K to get myself off, and then off that debt. And then now I'm okay with my car. I'm paying normally with my car. The thing is that how do I wait for another 7 years until I finish off this car? It is brand new. This car is fairly new. So I've got like 4 years or 5 years to go until I can only produce that this car is only settled. And I feel that is really unfair when I didn't willingly get into this debt review. I don't need that. I do afford paying 10K, but I just don't know who to trust. Who must I give? Am I going to get the certificate after taking out the 10K? Thank you so much. I'll listen on the line.
All right. Maybe just stay with us in case they've got some questions for you, Ricky. Benay, do you want to jump in on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think if the person doesn't mind just emailing to you guys, we'll understand the situation and see what could be helped. I think it's important to establish what really happened. It's difficult for me to comment like exactly how we ended up here. I think it would be good to establish. And, if the debt review flag shouldn't be there, if the person is not over indebted, you can go to court and argue that. It's not free, but I think there are avenues. I think for me to give the best advice, we probably have to see some of the documentation to understand what the financial situation is and advise on the best way forward.
All right, stay on the line, Ricky. Let me pass you on to our producer. Let's see how they are able to assist you. We also, Benay and Wendy, have a message saying, please advise, how does one get out of this debt review, please? And maybe, Benay, remind us around what the law says, that once you are committed to being under debt review, what that means? As in, if a person says, okay, I want to get out, what does getting out mean? Is it even a possibility before the term is over?
Yeah, I think this is a hotly contested topic. I think one of the important things to remember is, National Credit Act doesn't really cater for situation changes, which is unfortunate. But which means, if there's an opportunity to change the act, that would be amazing to to make it more consumer friendly. I think the question, we would have to understand again exactly at what stage the person is. If you are in early stage and you have not restructured your debt in the sense that you haven't got a new court order and get agreement from everyone else, there's one way of dealing with. But if you already passed that stage, there's different ways of dealing with it. I think the time limit is there to actually, help protect the consumers, give them enough runway to pay down their debt. But if your situation is such that you're earning much more than you did before, and you can manage your debts on your own, and you can prove this in court, there are also avenues in trying to overturn this. So I think there are some options, but again, I think we need to see at what stage the individual is, because the act wasn't designed exactly to cater for that. The act was designed in such a way that you pay all your debt that you start a debt review with, then you get your clearance certificate. That's the classic case it was designed for. It wasn't designed for situations where, let's say, there's a loss of income or there's improved income or this and that. So I think we need to understand it a little bit better before we give advice.
Can I ask a question, Bede? So if, let's say, you win yourself like a jackpot of 10 million rand and you are able to go and say, guys, I have the money to pay this thing off, do you still have to wait a certain period, or maybe you can just explain that part to us?
No, you don't have to. This is the thing. You can pay on that day and get your accounts paid up, and then you get your clearance straight away. That's what I said. The time limit is there to allow you runway. And generally, why it's long is because the debt is restructured to make it affordable for you. So we stretch it over a longer period of time to make the monthly payment less to benefit the consumer. And I think in some cases, obviously situations change. First, it would be amazing to win a jackpot for anyone. If that were to happen, it would be even more amazing if the first thing they thought of was to go and pay off their debt. That would be fantastic. And if that happens, they can get their clearance certificate straight away, because what needs to be demonstrated is two things. One is that you either paid up all your accounts and then now you have a zero balance, or that your financial situation has changed. You haven't paid up your accounts, but you can afford to pay them at the original rates as before. So therefore, we overturn the application. Those are the two simplest ways of describing it.
Thank you so much to that question. Oh, we have Hector in North Riding that we will come back to as soon as we come back from the break. So, Benay, I think you're stuck with us for a bit.
That's perfectly fine. Happy.
All right, we take a break and we continue when we come back.
Every day I'm hustling. It's our reality as business owners. And it's good to know that there's someone out there who takes care of the business that makes the business. Gotta love My Way Business Insurance. Saving big on premiums with 24/7 emergency services, plus My Business Assist with marketing, legal, and labor advice services.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and standard rates apply. My Way. Live your way.
Spinners on Get Prize Drops gives you the chance to win a share of an epic 2.5 million rand in cash and tech gadgets. Enjoy a spinning spectacular and unwrap exciting wonders where fortunes fall from the sky and you could claim amazing prizes with every round. Simply bet 2 rand or more on selected pragmatic play slots Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays and enjoy sweet success. Hollywood Bets. It's more fun to spin with us.
T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
Psst, have you heard? This Friday 27 and Saturday 28 February, something big is happening at Dis-Chem. Now for 2 days, Better Rewards card holders get 25% off fragrances. Yes, your favorite brands, for him, for her, For you. But don't tell everyone. Or do. Just don't miss out. Shop in store or online on 27 and 28 February at Dis-Chem. Better health starts here.
702.
Nola knows.
11 minutes to 3 o'clock, and we continue with our consumer rights feature, Nola Knows, with Wendy Nola. And we have been chatting about the debt review industry in South Africa. But Wendy is not alone. We also have Benay Sego with us, Executive Head of Debt Busters, 011 883 0702, and the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702. We go to the lines. I'm trying to see. Okay, we had Hector first in North Riding. Hi, Hector.
Hi, Relebogile. So I will also try and be as fast as I can. So mine is a little bit different. So the guys who got me into the program presented the program as a program in which they are going to just renegotiate my contracts so that I can get better rates. And at the time, I had some of the rates that was super high. So it was very interesting to find out that these are the guys who are going to renegotiate those contracts so that I will end up paying a little less installments. So they put me into the program, but they gave me a monthly amount that I should be paying, only to realize later that they take the money and they pay themselves, and they end up paying the people that I owe even lesser amount. So the program was getting me into a much worse situation. So I told them that actually you put me into something that I don't really need because I can safely afford all my installments. And then you guys are just taking my money first, and then you distribute the whatever that is remaining to my creditors, putting me in the worst situation because now I end up paying much lesser than I should be paying. And then when I wanted to get out, I was told that you need to settle everything that you have. And part of it was the house, meaning I have 30 years to actually finish the house and get out of this whole program. But now when I look at how much money I make, I end up, being able to save north of 10,000 because now I don't need any cash. So I cannot get any.
The network is going a little bit wonky, but in essence, this is not uncommon, Benay and Wendy, in that there are many people who will share that they got into debt review feeling misled.
Yeah, I think you are right.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned it at the beginning, because,
Yeah, I think exactly what I was going to say. Wendy's comment at the beginning is, like if you have initiated the conversation, then ask all the questions. If you have not initiated the conversation and you have been called, just like any other call that you would get, you can always say, let me call you back. Let me hang up, think about it, and call you back. Concluding a conversation in the first go, something as serious as this is probably not the best way of doing it in any case. So my advice would be that now, just to gentleman's question, again, details can sometimes be a bit elusive in terms of what was said, what was not said. I think one would need to really understand what was the situation before and what was it, the agreements or the promised agreements, and whether that was done. I think in the beginning it's important to establish this stuff in writing. So I think we'd have to understand again, like in writing, exactly what was discussed, what wasn't discussed, and how we ended up. But it's a sad story if the person feels like they're worse off in the long term, because that's not really what debt review or debt counseling is meant to be. It's actually meant to put you in a better situation in the long term.
We've got another question coming through, Dikeledi in Midrand. Go ahead.
Mine is just a fact, to say that as consumers, we are not protected. Because these people, can I name the company?
No, please don't, so that we don't, let's speak generally, and then if necessary, we'll bring it up.
Okay, because they don't explain to you that when you are involved in this situation, this is hangpal. You can't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing for you. It's just darkness ahead of your journey of life. That's exactly what happened to me, because with me, I was going to Australia for a year to visit my daughter. Then I saw this message. I was, said, let me just sign up because they'll be paying for everything for me. Unfortunately, the previous speaker is the same that I've experienced, that they were not paying accordingly. So with me, when I came back December 24, I stopped them to say, guys, I'm not interested with you anymore. I'll be able to pay. And I've been doing this paying. I've never been flagged with any, to say you don't pay. I've been paying. Even now I'm paying on a monthly basis. But what I've observed is the fact that I can't go out. I've approached lawyers to help me because I'm able to pay on monthly basis. I was never being red flagged with any,
default.
But yes, not at all in my entire life.
All right, so
hence I say we are not protected because they don't tell us to say, hey, please be aware this is what's going to happen if you are involved with us. That's the only reason. We are not protected as consumers because you just fall into the hot soup not knowing that you are hooked for life. It's unfair, guys.
So
I was prepared to name this company.
Wendy, maybe you can respond to that one. I'm not sure, Benet, if you want to respond there.
I think, but if you would jump in and talk about the process of somebody that was scammed into agreeing to go under debt review. They signed what is the form? Is it the 189? Unwittingly. And now how do they get out? What is the best way? Because often these companies will then say, now you've got to pay us 6,000 Rand and then we'll get you off, and then you pay it and then you still can't get out because it's a legal process. There's a long complicated reason as to why this is the case. There are some gaps in the legislation, but what practical advice would you give to someone, just quickly, Benai, who's been scammed, is not actually over indebted and now desperately wants to get out?
Yeah, I think, those kind of things would usually arrive at our desk via sometimes you, Wendy. I think we also have a membership in an association, National Debt Counselling Association. There's a website, ndca.org.za, where you can submit if you feel like you've been kind of wrong. That's probably the easiest way, or obviously on the Debt Busters website. My advice would be to talk to someone who understands the legal situation. It could be a lawyer, it could be somebody else. Get another opinion, and then make sure that, even before you sign something, that you actually understand what you're signing for. But if you find yourself in a scam situation, that would be the most practical advice I can give somebody. Find someone who understands the National Credit Act, and they can kind of channel you to the right places. Often there are courses, remedies, but they do take a long time sometimes. So I think we need to, again, understand exactly who it is, who's involved, what was promised, and all of that. It's possible to deal with it, but I think one needs to probably be a bit patient.
Oh, Benet, thank you so much. Wendy, we have basically run out of time, but clearly, I'm seeing messages also saying, how do I get out of debt review, debt counseling versus voluntary sequestration? And I'm thinking maybe we should have a conversation in one of our upcoming chats around what the options are that a person can explore outside of debt review, debt counseling, and all of those things. And another person is asking around the implications on their credit profile when they do this. So I think there's still quite a lot of education that can be had just around the subject. Wendy,
Part of the 702 family.
Hi, I'm Katlego Mosue. I'm a 23-year-old boy from Johannesburg, South Bosonia. And I love listening to 702 because it is informative and it keeps us up to date with current affairs.
Welcome to our 702 family. Let's walk the talk.
This is a message from Johannesburg Water. Water infrastructure vandalism has tragic and dangerous consequences. The theft of manhole covers can result in fatalities, especially among children. Each damaged pipe, illegal hookup, or vandalized pump jeopardizes access to clean water, disrupts service, and threatens public safety. Report suspicious activity to the City of Johannesburg at 0800 002 587. Help combat water infrastructure vandalism Your alertness can prevent disasters. Johannesburg Water, a water utility that cares.
Outsurance Life Insurance knows that your family trusts you to care, protect, and provide for them, even if you're no longer around.
More than anything, I need my child to be educated.
That's why 30-year-old Ntogozo pays only 233 Rand a month for over 1.5 million Rand life cover.
My little one would be secure. I trust Outsurance with my life.
Get Outsurance Life Insurance cover without doing any medicals. SMS Insure to 47159. That's Insure to 47159. Licensed Insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Aren't you tired of hearing how tough every bucky is? Tough this, tougher that, and being tougherer. But what about a bucky that's actually evolved? Confidence when you need it. Modern comfort because you deserve it. And next-gen tech that's, well, just smarter. Introducing the Changan Hunter range from only 5,299 Rand per month. Test drive SA's Better Balanced Bucky today. T's and C's apply.
Changan, driven to evolve.
Thank you so much for joining us on 702 Afternoons. Make sure you head over to my YouTube channel. There is a live stream link there. It is scheduled for 5 p.m. and you'll be able to see us performing live for you. And then, of course, Still Me Live is available from tomorrow. And thank you, of course, to Team 702 for supporting this little baby of mine. I can't wait to hear what you all think. Up next, 702 Drive with John Perlman. It's 3 o'clock.
This is EWN.
I have reached a point now, Chairman, where I have to go. He's not going to leave. He's not going to leave. If he leaves here, he's walking out.
Paul O'Sullivan walks out of the ATA committee and
Councillor Masuku has been duly elected.
Johannesburg Metro appoints its first ever deputy